What is going on, you guys? My name is Rage and we are back today with a quick overview video in regards to the upcoming event here. As you guys may have seen, the Web of Life starting off with a very powerful character in Spider Weaver, as well as the Ethereal Arms milestone. So in today's video, guys, I want to break down for you the event overall for the Web of Life, how to maximize the potential Spider Weaver shards as well. If you guys are newer or transitioning to the mid game, this is going to be a breakdown video in regards to how you can actually go through and unlock ultimately Spider Weaver by the time this event is said and done. So we go ahead and hit preview, guys. We already get a glimpse here of the 3 different stages that we will get access to. That's going to be easy, it's going to be hard, and the heroic mode difficulties. This is going to dictate different characters that you can utilize. As you can see, with easy mode, you can actually utilize any character in your roster, but specifically for the hard mode and heroic, you do need Vigilant characters. And also, they do have some recommendations here as well in terms of what they typically expect to be successful. I will have to say, guys, they've ramped up the heroic difficulty. I found that with this one now, even teams like 300k is typically what's needed to get the job done. So that's a lot higher than what it was previously before the rework. So keep that in mind. We never really know what we're going to expect, but these recommendations, level 85, gear tier 15, it's a little bit higher on the recommendations. I think you can actually get most of the job done level 75 to level 80 range, depending on the character synergies. But you'll see later on that this is actually one of the best rosters we've seen with the Vigilant characters being available. So I don't think you'll be having a hard time. It's just more difficult for those of you who don't have access to some of these notable characters. But the good news is a lot of these characters are actually in the end game. So you're going to need to build them up eventually anyways if you want to be partaking in the end game stages of War, of the Doom Raids meta, as well as going through the rest of Dark Dimension and so forth. So I mean, all that's part of the later end game stages. You're going to find value for sure. Now, that being said, guys, how is this event going to work? Well, similarly to what we do in the campaign nodes, with the easy, hard, and heroic modes, it's actually going to be populating a new mode here that we can access in the campaign stages. And just see it as like another chapter, how you go through typically all these different chapters and you're farming nodes. Well, we're going to have access to that. As you progress further and you unlock the additional nodes, obviously 3-starring them would be the best because you can actually hit the auto win. You're going to be acquiring the Vigilant Orb fragments. And these fragments ultimately is what's going to provide us shards of Spider Weaver. So if you wanted to get a sneak peek of what these shards are included in, you can hit the supply store and go ahead and hit orbs here. And it is already here. You can buy it for 500 power cores, or you can actually earn the fragments as you participate in the event for the next 2 weeks and able to amass these shards. So you can see here, guaranteed on the left pillar is always 1 to 2 Spider Weaver shards, as well as the right side, right? And then what's going to matter is the center pillar that you can scroll through, and you can actually get a good glimpse of what characters are going to be provided here. And again, these are a really good selection of characters because a lot of them are actually using the endgame stages, and most notably Spider Weaver having that significant increase here for the shard drop. That, in essence, is the event, guys. Now, I want to quickly share my screenshot with you guys here of my previous events here, the last few, and the rank I achieved, as well as the power core usage. It's important to consider the power core, guys, because how this event is going to be driven is by how much energy you utilize to farm those nodes, as I showed, as well as the more energy you use, the more fragments you get, which translates to more orbs potentially for more Spider Weaver drops. This is a track record of what I've shown here. Typically, guys, the measuring tool I have here is that if you're spending 4 refreshes a day in a power core usage, that's refreshing 4 times, 50 power core cost, so 200 per day. You're gonna likely end up with the 4 yellow stars. If you go over higher, add additional hundreds with the refreshes, there's a better chance that you're going to get a 5 yellow stars unlock free to play. So that's why I consider this one of the best ways to actually utilize the power cores for spending, because it's going to give us access to all these characters, and it's one of the best ways, especially if you're a mid-game player and you are able to get most of the hard or heroic nodes done. This is a great opportunity to capitalize on that. For those of you who are not sure what I'm talking about in terms of the refreshes, let me show you on screen here. Typically, what you can do is when you run out of energy in a day and you can hit the plus sign next to the lightning bolt here, that's going to allow you the opportunity here to actually refresh your energy. Right now, it's showing me my reserve here, but typically this is actually 50 power cores, and that's essentially the process. I do this 4 times a day and utilize that energy to actually farm the specific event campaign, and that amasses the additional fragments, which then translates to shards. So what I've learned then from my experience is that if you're refreshing at least 4 times, plus the occasional 100s, you're gonna likely end up with the 5 yellow stars unlock here. So it's very, very free to play friendly, guys. Especially if you're able to go through and push all the way to the end of the campaign event. And that, in essence, is an overview, guys. So stay watch for that. It's going to be a new campaign energy that comes out. It's not going to be the same lightning bolt. It'll be another yellow one, but again, it'll be accessible in the campaigns here or events once that event comes live in a couple hours here. That said, guys, I did actually want to quickly just touch over some of the best characters here for the Vigilant roster. I did do a deeper dive actually a couple weeks ago in regards to the preparation for the synergies, but high level, I'll go over it again just because these are some very powerful characters that you're going to see and a lot of synergies that you'll have in the end game as well. So Morgan Le Fay, without a doubt, the best character here in the mix. If you can get your hands on her or already have access to her, she's going to be the MVP because of what she can do. Honestly, by herself, she already completed Rex team, so I can only imagine build her up as high as you can. She's the best legendary right now in the game, and with her value still continuing, especially with Apocalypse being in the near future here, you know, that's not going to change anytime soon. Another great synergy mixture here is actually having access to both, you know, 2 characters part of the Doom 2 raids and Doom 3, the Web Warriors meta in Ghost Spider, and as well as Scarlet Spider. Both these characters are very powerful in the endgame, and they're utilized in the endgame raids, but also needed for the first Legendary Scourge event unlocking Morgan Le Fay. So just a lot of value there, honestly, and that's huge because we want to be able to maximize as much as we can for these endgame characters. They were also used in Dark Dimension 5 for myself, so you'll find dividends later on outside of other game modes too, even if you're not using them from Doom. A great healer in terms of sustainability, and one of the best legendaries that you can actually lock early in the game. You're transitioning because of the easy unlock for the Spider-Verse. Shuri having defensive capabilities, healing, energy granting, you know, it's absolutely huge for a character like that to provide that to the team. So anytime you have a character that can heal and sustain, it's going to add more value with your longevity as you progress further into the nodes. And another one, very obvious, guys, Xiangchi, still one of the top 10 characters in the game and accessible through the Blitz store, so very easy to access, powerful skills and abilities, and he has a small heal that he can provide to the team. Just so powerful, honestly. He does a little bit of everything, and it's huge if you can get your access to him because he's going to be really rounding out the rest of the roster. Another strong one that I like to mention is Cloak because of his ultimate ability here, Shadow Assault, inflicting just all these negative conditions, blind, defense down, disruption, offense down, slow, so forth, right? So this is huge. You can capitalize and actually synergize there with Ghost Spider and Scarlet Spider because they thrive on negative conditions. Other notable characters too, guys, is part of the new meta. We saw Vision and Hulkbuster both being included here. As them being newer in the game with the Bionic Avengers and the Doom 2, Doom 3 tech teams, they're staples if you have them built up. You know, they're more recent releases, but because of their kits being added recently, their statistics are really good and they have a great skill kit. And most recently, guys, as well, I like to point out Valkyrie and Mighty Thor because likely, if you guys have been pushing through the Scourges, you may have both of them already naturally built up. So you might get some value there, actually, with Mighty Thor and Valkyrie. Just both of them having that added benefit of going through the Scourge for Red Hulk right now. And another good honorable mention, guys, is I personally really like Spinnerbeat Spider-Man. Unfortunately, falling out of the meta, but you know he can extend negative conditions. He's got a handy stun to crowd control. He's just a great character overall. Not many of the other symbiotes here that you can synergize with, but he's still a standalone good character that you can add. And then lastly, guys, I do also recommend Hela just because she can spread negative conditions. Greg is handy as the Undead Asgardian to soak up damage. He's got disruption. But she kind of works similar to Ghost Spider, where their ultimates are similar in the sense that they actually spread the negative conditions, except it's a little better because Ghost Spider doesn't spread stun, ability block, or trauma, whereas Hela can actually spread ability block, so that's a notable difference there. Otherwise, guys, the only other one that I see here that's not built up for myself personally, Black Panther and M'Baku, part of Wakandans, very, very powerful, guys. If you have them built up, those three would make sense, especially with having Shuri on the team with the Wakandan synergy. But this is what I was saying earlier, guys. This is one of the best rosters we've seen to date for a free-to-play campaign event, so absolutely huge to capitalize on. And as well, just as a reminder, while this event is ongoing, there's going to be another milestone here opening up at the same time, and it's called the Ethereal Arms. And with this one specifically, we're going to be earning points towards these milestones as we open up these Vigilant Orbs too. So just keep that in mind. Ultimately, you're going to be unlocking shards of Scarlet Spider, a 5 red on Symbiote Spider-Man, as well as the featured event item. So make sure you take advantage of that. This is going to be part of that event running in tandem with the Web of Life. So short and brief update there for you guys. Hope this helps you prepare. A couple hours it goes live, but for sure, again, I love how these characters are available because they're one of the best ways to access these characters, especially if they're powerful. We saw this with Kestrel before. We saw this with Doctor Strange Heartless, and most recently Vision. So thank you as always, you guys. Do let me know what you think in the comments below. Good luck in your guys' farming, and let's get ready here for the next 2 weeks. Thank you, and see you guys in the next one.